Volkswagen had quite a big launch last month. They had the launch of not one but two cars, the Arteon as well as the Tiguan Allspace. And they were both available in R-Line models. Now we're here in Volkswagen Puchong to try out these two cars, and like I said, we're getting to try the top spec R-Line models. So these are going to be very exciting new cars. So without further ado, let's go! So we're heading on over to Maps, which is our usual stomping ground. So far in the Tiguan Allspace, it actually feels quite nice. You know, we're only driving on highways at normal speeds, but it feels smooth and also very solid and stable. So just like any other Volkswagen then, let's get on with it. So what does the R-Line trim level mean for both cars? Well, on the outside, both cars get the R-Line exterior package, which includes a sportier front bumper, sportier rear bumper, deeper side skirts, as well as larger alloy wheels on both cars. On the inside, you've got a flat bottom steering wheel, you've got Napa leather with some fake carbon fiber accents, as well as R-Line badging. You've got alloy pedals and some other bits and bobs. Now the most important bit is under the skin. Both cars get adaptive dampers. On the Tiguan Allspace, it's only available on the R-Line model, and they both come with the XDS electronic differential lock. So now we're driving the cars properly. We are in the Tiguan Allspace R-Line, and both these cars have a 2-litre turbocharged TSI 4-cylinder engine, but in this car it makes 220 PS and 350 Newton meters of torque. So this family-friendly 7-seater SUV makes more power than a 4-door coupe. Make of that what you will. Now this sort of output is almost exactly the same output as a Golf GTI, for example. So you would imagine that this car is very, very fast. Well, yes and also no. You see, the Allspace is actually quite heavy, so this car doesn't actually feel all that rapid, especially when you compare it next to a hot hatch. It's fast, I'll give it that, but it's not life-alteringly fast. Don't get me wrong, this is still a very, very sweet engine, especially when you put it into sport mode. You can hear it. It sort of has this quite nice little grumble, and when you're doing the upshifts and downshifts with the 7-speed wet dual clutch transmission, it makes a sort of very pleasing noise, very sporty indeed. So it is very comfortable. Now this car has the adaptive dampers, the dynamic chassis control, or DCC as Volkswagen likes to call it, and the suspension itself has got 3 settings: comfort, normal and sport. Comfort mode is probably at its best when it's around town. In comfort mode, this car completely just goes over the bumps. Even on these very big 19-inch alloy wheels, it's very, very smooth ride. Once you get up to highway speeds, it does get a little bit bouncy because it's a little bit soft, but then you can simply put the car into normal mode, and in normal mode, it completely eliminates all that. It's a little bit firmer, but it's still very, very comfortable, and you don't get any sort of that bouncing motion that you have in comfort mode. Putting it into sport mode, again, it firms out a little bit more, but even then it still smooths out the bumps. It's not too aggressive. It's not like, in, let's say, a Mercedes AMG, where if you put it into sport or race mode, it just gets too bumpy. Here, it's a sort of usable sport mode that you can use pretty much every day if you want to. Here in the twisties, this is where the Tiguan Allspace starts to show its weight and its massive size. It's not really massive, but it's still quite big. Despite the all-wheel drive system, despite the adaptive dampers, and despite the electronic differential lock, this is not a Golf R on stilts. This is not a baby Tiguan R. This is, well, just a slightly faster, slightly more sporty Tiguan, which honestly is not that bad. But if you're looking for like a super hot hatch with just a higher ride height, then I think you're going to be disappointed. But that's not such a problem, I think. So in terms of the marketplace nowadays, you have to consider that this car, the R-Line especially, is quite expensive. So it is priced quite a bit more expensive compared to its natural rivals. Things like the CX-8 and the Nissan X-Trail and maybe even the CR-V. Its closest rival would probably be the CX-8 diesel, you know, and of course the Mazda's diesel it feels very powerful and quite refined for a diesel. But I think you will find a little bit more driving enjoyment in this car compared to the Mazda. Now that we have a little bit of time, let's talk about the details of these two cars. We'll start with pricing. This Tiguan Allspace 2-litre TSI 4Motion is priced at 209,637 ringgit, which means that it's the cheaper of the two cars here. The Arteon is priced at 221,065 ringgit. Both these cars are fully exempted from the 10% sales and service tax because these cars are of course assembled locally in Pekan, Pahang. It should be pointed out that these two cars are not the latest facelifted models that were introduced this year. It is a little bit too early for that. However, I think these two cars are still very handsome looking vehicles. The interior of the Allspace, at least from the front, is very similar to the Tiguan. You've got a very clean, very minimalist dashboard that's sort of looking its age, but it's still not too bad. Build quality on both these cars is very good. There's lots of soft touch plastics here, down here, it's a bit scratchy, but overall you've got a very good level of materials in here. This car doesn't get the carbon fiber trim that you have on the Arteon, and I think it looks much better for it. You've also got these nice seats. They are both power adjustable. And up here, you've got a couple of storage compartments here and here, so it's a little bit more practical. Back here, as you would expect from a Tiguan that's slightly stretched, there's plenty of legroom over here, as you can see over here, and you've got lots of headroom. And you can even recline the seats further up or further down. If you so wish, you can also slide the seats forward to give some room for the rear occupants, and even up here you've got lots of space still. You've also got rear aircon vents, and you've got your own climate control settings over here, and down here you've got a USB port and a 12-volt socket. Over here you've got a picnic table. It's a little bit clunky, but it's nice to have anyway. You've got a cup holder over here as well. Now the Tiguan is of course a 7-seater, but the back seats are really only for children. You can, like I said, move the second row seats further forward to give you more space at the back, but even so, there's not a lot of headroom. Those seats are for children only. Don't bother sitting in the back if you're an adult. So, to the Arteon then. This car is a successor to the Volkswagen CC, which means that this is a 4-door coupe version of the Passat. This car is nearly 100mm longer, 40mm wider, and 12mm lower, and this makes the car far sleeker than its, some might say, boring sibling. As this is a coupe model, you've got a very sleek, low-slung roofline, and over here you've got frameless doors to really give it that nice upmarket look. The outside of the Arteon may look completely different from the Passat, but inside you're in for a little bit of disappointment because this dashboard is entirely identical to the Passat. There's lots of soft touch plastics over here, and even down here you've got lots of soft touch plastics as well. And down here you've got a little bit of scratchy plastics, but that's par for the course in this price range. But overall you don't get the same wow factor that you get from the exterior. Now you do have some differences. You've of course got the lower roof, you've got the frameless windows like I said, and you still have an analog clock over here. The Passat facelift has switched to just having a Passat badge over here. Both these cars have got the latest Discovery Pro navigation system with a large 9.7-inch touchscreen, gesture control, which is fairly useless. And on this car you've also got wireless Apple CarPlay, just like you have in the BMW. Unlike in the BMW, however, you don't have to pay extra to have this service. You'll just have it as long as you have the car. As Hafez said, the rear door aperture is quite small, but once you're inside, you've got loads of space. Even with the front seat to my driving position, there is a huge amount of legroom, as you can see over here, and even headroom is not very tight, especially when you consider that this car has a lower roofline than the Passat. It's very, very comfortable in here. You've got rear aircon vents, but unfortunately, unlike the Passat, you don't have rear aircon controls over here. Even though this has a 3-zone climate control system, the temperature controls are in the front. Weird, isn't it? Now we come to safety, and this is where these two cars have a serious problem. Neither of these cars have autonomous emergency braking. It's bad enough that this car's mainstream rivals all have AEB on their most expensive models. Even BMW has wisened up and has given these cars' main premium rivals, the 320i and the X1, even the base S-Drive 18i model, it has given those cars AEB. At well over 200,000 ringgit for these two cars, that is not acceptable. Now the Arteon may have the same engine as the Tiguan, but it doesn't have the same amount of power. It makes 190 PS and 320 Newton meters of torque. That's 40 PS and 30 Newton meters less than the Tiguan, which isn't that much. And in fact, because this car doesn't feel as heavy as the Tiguan, it actually feels a little bit quicker. Again, this engine is very smooth, delivers its torque very instantly, but the engine note is a little bit rougher than it is in the Tiguan. Perhaps just because of the different tune or maybe the different exhaust. The 7-speed dual wet clutch transmission is also not quite the same as it is in the Tiguan. That one is supposed to handle more torque, and it also is configured for the all-wheel drive system. Even so, it is just as smooth, it's just as responsive. Again, a little bit of hesitation when you're in normal mode, but when you're in sport mode, it responds fine. And of course, you can use the pedals and will downshift and upshift as quickly as you'd want. The Arteon is again a very refined car. There's not a lot of wind noise to speak of, but there is a surprising amount of low frequency road noise, which is quite unsettling when you're driving along. As I said before, the Arteon has adaptive dampers, and like the Tiguan, it's got comfort, normal and sport settings. Comfort, I feel, is a little bit firmer than it is on the Tiguan, but on the flip side, it does handle the undulations on the road quite a bit better than the Tiguan. There's none of that bouncy feeling that you have, going over bumps, and I guess that's also partly due to the fact that this car is so much lower than the Allspace. And of course, when you put it into sport, firms up again like the Tiguan, but again, it's not too uncomfortable, and here the body control is so much better than it is in the Tiguan. It's just because this car is lower, it's more planted to the ground, and it's just more dynamically superior. Despite the lower amount of power and the front-wheel drive, this car feels much more sporty than the Allspace. To sum up then, this car is actually every bit the premium car that this car aspires to be in terms of its driving dynamics. Sure, it's not as sharp and it doesn't have that intrinsic rear-wheel drive handling feel that you have in the 3 Series, but it is not too far behind. So to sum up then, the Tiguan Allspace and Arteon R-Line are very, very good cars, at least in isolation. Now of course, the lack of AEB on either of these cars is quite a problem. But that shouldn't take away from the fact that these cars are very accomplished machines. They're good looking, they're good to drive, they're quite spacious inside, they're well built, and they come with a high level of standard equipment. Safety notwithstanding, of course. We're going to take these two cars on a more comprehensive test drive, so we'll give you a more in-depth impressions on these two cars and how they drive and how they are to live with day to day. So stay tuned for that one. For now, we hope you stay safe and thank you for watching.